It's time for everyone's favorite segment. Sure it is. Blinky Flashy Lowdown with our professional sequence purchaser, Brian McVay.
All right, welcome back for another episode of Blinky Flashy with Brian McVay. And today I have Simon Reed with us with RGB Sequences.com. Sorry about that, Simon. How you doing today, bud?
G'day, Brian. Thanks for having us on board today. Yeah, we're good.
Good. Now, the reason I asked you on here is I've been starting to see some posts from you that you're putting out some pretty good sequences. And how about telling me about yourself? How long you've been doing it? How long you've been doing, or a show, and then how long you've been doing some sequencing?
Yeah, no worries, Brian. We've been doing just our residential display for the last couple of 3 years, and probably usual story to a lot of people that get into this hobby. We started off with a small sort of static display and then found the world of pixels, so to speak. We had some small plans for our display in the first year, basic house outline and a few other small props. And the next thing you know, I've got 10,000 pixels hanging off my house. So
sounds like a lot of us.
That was, got caught by the blinky bug, so to speak. So that was interesting, busy time. So that's probably about our little our display, and that's expanded over the last year or so. We're now into the neighbour's yard and the other neighbour's yard a little bit. So we have expanded out a little bit. In that we started looking around for some sequences when we started getting into this hobby, and there's some great, fantastic shared stuff out there, on the Google Drive and some other places. One of the things that I found was, don't get me wrong, the guys that share do a fantastic job. They can be a little bit tricky to map to your own layout.
Oh, I agree, 100%.
Because the guys which are generous enough to share them probably aren't thinking about sequencing from a sharing point of view, more so just for their own display, which is fine. So I noticed I spent a lot of time trying to grab these sequences and map them to our layout. So once I started getting my head around that and learning some sequencing techniques, we started doing our own sequences, and then we started to share some. So I was sharing them. I'm an Australian, so we were sharing them mostly on the Oz Christmas lighting forum. And a couple of people were picking them up and saying, thanks, these are cool, like them. We were sharing them from our own personal layout, which has got a bit of an image on our website. That's our bit of our personal layout. And people were having the same sort of problem, a little bit of difficulty in mapping some of our props to their layout. Because again, we'd sequenced these just for ourselves, not to be specifically sequenced to be shared. So that sort of evolved a little bit. We started sharing more and more sequences out there, and one in particular I think was rather popular was the hey, come check out my house sequence.
That was a very, very popular, and
which was
I just learned
blast to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I just learned here a little bit ago that you were the creator sequencer of that. So that was totally awesome. I know I had it, and a ton of people had it. So that was very neat.
I can't take 100% credit for that one. I didn't do the lyrics tracks for it. And that was a bit of a funny thing some of us Aussie guys started to do. It was having a bit of fun, so we shared that, and then it became really popular.
Oh yeah, that's the bulbs on the matrix were just too awesome. So
yeah. And off topic a little bit, I actually put a funny little Easter egg. Well, I thought it was in that sequence, and I'll let you on to what it is. I don't think anyone's really picked it.
I'm gonna have to go back. I didn't.
It's you know how everyone sort of laughs about the butterfly effect, Hull
Yeah.
House butterfly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I snuck that into that sequence across in a couple of places, and I was expecting everyone to go, "Oh, there's the butterfly effect." No, I thought it was a bit funny. I snuck it in there.
I had no idea. No.
Yeah, so that was my little bit having a bit of fun with something as well.
You know, everybody's gonna go home, or they're gonna, if they're driving in their vehicle or whatever, they're gonna go home. They're gonna get on X-Lights. They're gonna check out their sequence. They're gonna open it up and watch for it on the whole house. So, yep, that's neat.
Yeah. So I thought that was a bit of fun, and it was really great to see. I saw some videos. Some people shared me some videos. Even David Peace shared one with me, showing how he was using that sequence on his display. And I thought, wow, this is great. This is really cool.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah.
So off topic there a little bit, sorry.
No, you're absolutely fine. That's what it's for. We're just sitting here talking, so hopefully everybody's going to enjoy it.
Yeah, so then I started sharing some more and more sequences. I'd done Arena Grenier one, and a Katy Perry one, I think, and an Our City one. And next thing I started getting these private messages from people, "Hey, we like your sequence. Do you reckon you could do one for me?"
Nice.
I went, yeah, okay. Yeah, if I can get time, I will. That was the thing. I said, look, we're building our display, we're sequencing our display, you know, we've got 1,000 other things on in work. Yeah, so then I started to try to put the hat on, so to speak, when sequencing for them to be able to match to someone else's layout.
Mm-hmm.
Playing around with the effects, using different rendering techniques so that they would actually, you know, map a little bit easier. And I learned a lot from doing that. So that was really great to get some feedback from those people, you know, who asked for those sequences from me.
Yeah.
So then we also, there's a couple of silly ones that I got involved in a little bit. There was a Tones and I Dance Monkey, probably not a huge artist over in the States. It was a massive song over here in Australia just before Christmas.
Okay.
Another Australian Christmas lighting person shared that sequence, and I sort of jigged it a little bit, and we reshared it, and they shared it, and sort of amalgamated something together, which was really cool. It's like a really cool community-based thing.
Well, I was going to say family, but yeah, a nice little family project, community project. So that's awesome.
Yeah, so that was on Australian Christmas lighting, and I've got to recommend to everyone to head over there. Don't forget about the ACL forum. I've got to get that plug in there. Sorry, guys.
Oh no, by all means, plug away.
Yeah, it's a great resource for anyone that's out there after some information. I've put a whack of build videos out there. I've put a heap of display, how I put our display together, etc. like that. So I've done Megatree builds, some information on them. Leaping arches, controllers, bits and pieces everywhere.
Okay, very cool. Well, hey, let me share this commercial real quick from Zazzle, our new sponsor, and then we'll continue on with this, and then we'll let you share some of your displays and stuff, sequences and stuff.
No worries.
Once again, the Professional Triers Holiday Lighting Show has raised the bar, teaming up with another awesome sponsor, Zazzle, to provide you, our VIP listeners, with some cool, awesome, one-of-a-kind Professional Triers gear, including the Hot or Not shot glass, the Blinky Flashy Lowdown notebook, the Professional Triers Blinky Gear beer stein, the ever-so-popular David Peace Not a Vendor t-shirt, the must-have Robert Petty Make Rob Great Again t-shirt, the one-of-a-kind Jordan Nash
Do you like my decorations?
t-shirt, and of course the must-have Professional Triers Blinky t-shirt, and much, much more. You can even create your own one-of-a-kind Professional Triers gear. So go to trierswag.com, that's TRIERSSWAG.com, and get your Professional Triers gear today.
All right, and special thanks to Jordan Nash for putting that together. And Carl Jordan did the video, and Carl Mursky, did the audio for it. So good job, guys. Now, Simon, getting back to you, something I appreciated with watching your sequences and stuff was the size of the display that you have. And I think you're directing that more towards like the new people coming in that don't have, a ton of props, a dozen arches, 15 arches, mini trees, and all that. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, no worries, Brian, definitely. If I can just share my screen for a sec, hopefully this will go okay.
Of course, yeah.
Share screen. Hopefully you've got it up there. Have you, Brian?
Yep, got it.
Yeah. So one of the things which I mentioned on earlier, when we was starting off looking into getting into this hobby, we originally was going to just have a small display, and found it a little bit tricky to map some of those shared sequences onto our display and get maximum impact from them. That is just half of our display that we've got, and we've got some pretty unique props. So I thought if I share our actual display, I don't know how many people have got a snowflake tree.
I love that snowflake tree. Matter of fact, I was just talking to somebody else about that the other day. I absolutely love it. It's just the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah, we liked it to come up really well. It was a bit of a gamble, but we liked it. Yeah, so what I thought about doing it originally was just to have a really small layout. It was like this.
Mm-hmm.
Just 4 arches, a nice, and you can say it's nothing like our own layout. Generic type of starter sort of layout, which I thought, trying to grasp those cool elements like the arches and some snowflakes or something like that. So I originally put some sequences out just on that light layout.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I did, and I think I might have put a small Facebook post up regarding that, and we had another little website, and to purchase them you'd have to email me and I would send you the sequence and I'll send us a little bit of money through PayPal. It was a bit clunky, but the response I got was huge. I was blown away. People reached out to me and said, love it, great. And they had larger, more like medium-sized displays. They said, look, we love them, really cool, but do you reckon you could add a mega tree? Do you reckon you could add just 1 or 2 other props? So I went, oh, really? Well, it wasn't my main idea and concept. Again, that concept of someone starting out, they might want to grab a nice sequence which is all their elements, to get that maximum impact.
Mm-hmm.
So then I went, all right, I gave in. I put a mega tree on and added some mini trees and a bit of a spinner. So that's how we ended up with our so-called standard layout. But what we try to do, we're offering these sequences in 2 variations, and obviously there's a price difference between the 2. We have our light layout for those people starting out, which are, I think they're about half the price of the standard layout.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the other thing. We've tried to keep the price down as low as what we think we should. And we do have some specials going on. Generally, if we release a new sequence, if you check out our Facebook page, we'll mark it 50% off, for that weekend we release it. And that's been pretty popular, I will say.
Oh, wow.
Hopefully my page loads here. Like we've got some sequences on there and they, our standard layouts from $14.99 up to $24.99 sort of. We're also offering some mega tree effect packs, which we're going to be building on them a little bit more as we go on. Look, we've only got a few sequences available at the moment.
What's that now?
Probably
I'm sorry.
We've only got a limited number of sequences available at the moment. We are aware of that. The big reason is we're making these all from scratch for those layouts that we, like I mentioned before. They're not just our own sequences that we've rejigged to resell. These have been specifically made for these couple of generic type layouts to make maximum impact. Like I mentioned, I don't know how many people have got a snowflake tree.
Well, you know what keeps going through my mind is because of your personal display and everything that you have in it. Have you thought about doing your light, like a beginner, your regular setup like an intermediate, and then an advanced, a standard, and then an advanced for more of the snowflake tower? Because I think if more people catch wind of that snowflake tree, I think it's going to catch on. And with the Coro props that are coming out, it would take a couple controllers probably and a lot of lights, but that I am looking at that, I'm like, oh man, I know exactly where I could put that.
Yeah, well, I was actually this morning, I was only thinking that because I actually mapped some of our standard layout ones onto our own display out of curiosity more than anything. And I'll tell you what, they come up all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you just see that standard layout and go, oh, I've got more props than that, just try it. You might just have to delete a couple of things because, as I said, I'm trying to sequence to get maximum impact all the time. Maybe for that guy that hasn't got that huge display, he might miss if his outline is missing for a quarter of the sequence. He's not going to get that impact, that bang for his buck. I thought.
Yeah.
So you might actually have to go through, and it's quite easy, drop a couple of little effects off here and there, to get that focus back onto that main thing. But I have thought about it. We'll put a pin in it.
Okay, I'm gonna throw this out there right now. Whoever's listening, if they want a beginner, intermediate, super advanced, shoot us a message, let us know, and we'll put the screws to Simon to make that happen.
Thanks.
Hey, no problem, man.
Yeah. And like I said, we only have a limited amount because we are making these specifically for this layout, and I've got a couple more in the bag. We're building them up, to release them. Just trying to share some other stuff for you guys as well. As I said, I don't think many people actually know me out there in the Blinky hobby much. I've sort of kept a bit of a low profile on the Facebook and bits and pieces. I've got a bit of a YouTube channel where I think I've got about 70 odd videos of numerous things, of behind the scenes videos and bits and pieces. So you might want to check out probably what I'm more known from is Lawrence Drive Lights.
I think I've watched your behind the scenes or part of your behind the scenes where you're going through your controllers.
Possibly, and I probably bored you.
No, I love watching the behind the scenes and see how people are doing it and the controller configs and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. So just from our own point of view, that's probably where our display is at the moment. You can sort of see where we encroached over next door.
Wow.
So funny fact is we built next door. It's a bit hard to see because it's blocked by that tree.
Yeah.
We built that display in 3 weeks next door.
No kidding.
Yeah, it was a bit of a crazy time. I put a bit of a call out to some of the Aussie guys. We've got a great Aussie Coro manufacturer, cutter over here from Stream Lighting Displays. He's got a license from Boscaio.
Yep.
Fantastic guy. Helped me out heaps. Sorry to name names and stuff like that. He helped make that happen. So I've got to give him credit for that. This is just the king in country one. So that's, you can probably see our snowflake tree. Oh, mate, I was wrapped in it. You've got no idea.
What happened?
I've done our snowflake tree. Sorry, I was wrapped in it. I was really happy with the way it turned out. Yeah, wrapped, a bit of an Aussie lingo happening.
I told you if I didn't understand, you might have to slow down just a little bit.
Sorry.
No, that's awesome.
So again, that's why I haven't used our layout for these sequences. So anyhow, then another thing also is with our layout, you'll probably see we've got multiple mini trees, and I do get to, for our own sequences, make them bounce up and down individually, and that doesn't transfer across very well, which I found. You might only have 2 mini trees. You might have none. And just about ourselves again, I said Oz Christmas Lighting. I've got to give these guys a huge plug. They do a fantastic job. I've put numerous builds. This is one of the early builds I done. That was my original layout going to be.
Oh, wow.
That's what it was going to be. I thought, yep. I had no experience in doing blinky lights 3 years ago. I thought, yep, I can achieve that. And next thing I've got 10,000 pixels hanging off my house.
Jeez.
So it was a big learning curve, but a lot of help from the guys from ACL. That's why I've tried to give them back a bit, also in that community by doing some of those YouTube videos, by doing some of those display builds as such. So, so that is what we've got there. Oh, that was our bit of a funny dance monkey. You've got to love a 5.5 or 5 meter tall singing monkey.
Oh, heck yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Now, what's the pixel count in that mega tree? That looks pretty dense.
He's 85 up, 85 down by 32.
Okay. 1 inch spacing, or is that 2?
2 inch.
2 inch spacing. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's nice.
And the little one, which next door, which you can't quite see, was just the typical, 50 up, 50 down by 24.
Okay.
Which this one takes 3 times as long to put up compared to the smaller one.
Yeah. I'm noticing that the bigger the tree gets, the more intensive it gets.
Yeah. So and just another quick thing about our display. I'm trying not to waffle on too much about myself. I know the reason why I was on here, is to talk about our sequences, and I'm just trying to introduce myself as well.
No, yeah, by all means.
We do a little Halloween display, which is a bit probably novel in Australia. Australia doesn't have a huge Halloween following like obviously it happens in the States.
Mm-hmm.
So we do a bit of a small display, and we're pretty lucky where our house is situated. We are directly across from a school, and as you can probably see up here, we get a lot of people coming to view our display from up on the hill looking down. So we've got it turns into a pretty cool community sort of place, especially because it's summer in Australia, so we don't have the snow. We're not having all that cold weather.
I was just going to say that it's probably summertime over there when we're having our winters, and vice versa.
Yeah, which creates its own difficulties.
Mowing.
It does. For over in Australia, it doesn't get dark till 8:30, 9 o'clock at night.
Oh wow!
So we only get this limited window, to show off our displays. We have to deal with temperatures and stuff like that. But that's a topic for another day.
Yeah. Well, that's about the time we're shutting our shows down is 8:30, 9 o'clock, 9:30, and you're just getting started.
That's and especially because I'm from a place in Australia, from a little state in Tasmania. We've got a small population compared to some of what you guys have got over there. Anyway, off topic.
Well, about how many people do you have over there in Tasmania?
Tasmania, just over 500,000 in our little state.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. We are a tiny state. Of Australia's about 28 million, thereabout.
We're a huge state, and we only have maybe about 1 million, I think. I don't know. I'll have to Google it. I don't know what the recent one is.
Yeah, so that's probably a little bit off topic, and I'm happy to jump on another podcast with you guys and talk about.
If there's a squirrel that goes by, man, I am all over it. So I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, I'm happy to jump back in sometime and have a chat to JR and yourself or anything like that. So.
Oh heck yeah, it's always a blast.
Yeah, so that's us from RGB Sequences, and as I said, what we're trying to do is get some sequences out there. The public will decide if they like them or not. We thought we'll give it a crack, give it a go. The response has been fantastic. I've been a little bit overwhelmed, especially when I was the early days having to email off left, right, and centre. I was getting up, earlier before work. There'd be a couple of emails sitting in the inbox. Oh, can we get this one? Yeah, all right. Can we get this one? Yeah, all right. So hopefully, with the website now, it does make it easier.
Well, it's awesome when your hobby can work into others and other adventures, and that just is so awesome. And I wish I had some kind of skill to do it. I did the quick sequencing from Can of Spader Christmas where you just put the random effects in, and I'm like, yeah, no, this I'll pay. I'll pay good money, as some people will know. I'll pay it more than once for the same one, but I'll leave it to you guys that know what you're doing and make it look like I know what I'm doing when people pull up outside and watch. So that's what's fun.
Yeah, so you're just breaking up a little bit there, Brian. So hopefully I'm not too delayed. Some people might even just want to grab one or two sequences and look at how the effects are used, and then they might be able to go, oh, that's how it's done. It's a bit of that leg up, so to speak, to get them on that track to making their own cool sequences as well.
Yeah.
There's hopefully there's lots of cool free stuff out there too.
Hopefully this is going to turn out all right. I got a heck of a snowstorm going on right now, which is good because we need the snow, something fierce. So, but hopefully this is recording okay. So, but yeah, and it's always fun, and I love watching other people's sequences and stuff, especially the ones that put them out for us. The ones on Share Drive, are really good. You got to kind of pick and choose through them, and I appreciate the people that are putting them out. It for somebody that doesn't want to spend gob of money, and what Clyde and Robert do is just amazing. So and I'm going to put you into that category. It's just everybody does such a really good job because they know what they're doing with it and learning daily, and if I can properly map my stuff over for people or for myself, then my stuff would look good. So
yeah, it's interesting, the mapping side of things. There's almost becoming an art in itself and being able to map to your display. Some people, what I heard someone called themselves, I'm a professional mapper.
Yeah, that was brought up.
Which is a true possible comment to make, because you might have arches, you might have fan arches or something like that. So you might have to learn to map possibly a snowflake effect and your arch effect, and getting them to gel together.
Yep.
And that's, I think, the beauty of this. The beauty of this hobby is there's so much different. People got different ideas, and there's some very smart people out there as well, which come up with some cool ideas. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the effects and with what Keith and those guys are doing with X lights is just it's every day it's better and better. So, and it gives more creativity to you guys that have the musical background or the aptitude to do that, and of course we appreciate it. So
no worries. And so there's some other great people that provide sequences out there too. I try to look at them and go, oh, that's a cool effect. Hell, and then you try to deconstruct it in your head, go, I'm on to you there.
Yep.
Even some of the people that share the free ones, they can come up with some fantastic ideas.
Yeah.
How to apply something a little bit different. Maybe it's a tweak of a rendering or something like that, or a little bit of a layer mixing. It can change it so much. And that's what I'd probably suggest to anyone that out there is having a bit of a struggle with their sequencing. Don't give up.
Right.
Have a bit of a play with the rendering styles. You won't break anything. Some people think they're going to break the whole sequence. Just save it. If you don't like it, just reopen it.
Yeah.
And go again. And that's how you'll learn, oh, that worked, oh, that didn't work. Because you hear that comment a lot of the time is someone wants to watch a 10-minute video and learn how to sequence.
No.
You'll get some tips and ideas, like you'll learn how to make an arch go left to right or something like that, or make a shockwave effect work or something like that. But I think at the moment, I know that Keith and others do these fantastic workshops, all-day seminars around the place, which I'd love to attend.
That is like,
so if there's any sponsors out there who want to send me over to the States,
well, see, and that's a perfect segue, because the final question I had for you written down was, is there any plans to come to the States to go to the expo or go to Transworld or one of the minis or anything like that? The West Coast experience coming up. Don't kill me, David. I don't remember the date on it, but any plans of that?
I would absolutely love to. As I said, I'm located in this little state of Australia, and it costs us an absolute fortune to fly anywhere. We have in Australia, in Sydney. You've probably heard of Sydney, I hope.
Oh, of course, yep.
Okay. They put on a fantastic mini, which has been building up every year. I'd love to be able to go to that, but even it's $1,000 weekend for myself to attend it.
Oh.
With the flights, it's cruel. So, hey, if Qantas out there want to sponsor,
we'll start a GoFund site for you to build up for 2023. How's that?
Oh, that'd be fantastic. But saying that, you mentioned about minis. I've actually starting one up down here in Tasmania, because we are getting a few people. Some people have seen my display and asked questions, because there was a couple other bigger displays, but around our area, I was probably one of the first ones, to go overboard, if you know what I mean.
Of course, yeah.
And then you meet some other people. So I've actually started up this year. We're having our first Tasmanian mini, which I've coordinated down this way. So I will be attending a mini. So Brian, you're more happy to come to Tasmania to attend it.
Well, you're gonna have to go live on it so we can, us Yankees, I guess you want to call us, I don't know, on the other side of the pond, can see how you guys roll over there. So gotta be neat. Gotta be interesting.
We're pretty casual. We're pretty laid back.
Right on. Well, do you have anything else you want to add?
The only question I'll ask you, Brian, if I can.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Go ahead. Fire away.
What do you like in a sequence?
It's easier to answer that with what I don't like in a sequence. When I'm watching a sequence and I'm looking at the props and I'm going to call them dancing because of the lights, I don't like to see, or I don't like to think in my mind that there was a missed opportunity. Oh, you could have done something there. And that's why, and I say that because of the really big displays you go back from last year when I was a smaller display. I only had 5,700 lights last year, and I didn't have all of the props that a sequence that I had mapped over. So if there was some stuff going on a prop that I didn't have, I didn't know to put it on another prop. So I had some missed opportunities of something that of a sequence or an effect that I could have put on a different prop to keep the flow going of the entire show. So that's easier for me to answer with what I don't like. I don't like the missed opportunities. If there's something and I'm sitting there watching it and I'm like, man, I'm loving this. And I'm like, what was that? It just, that's what I don't like. I'm a firm believer, if I have the lights, I installed the lights, I paid for the lights, I put them up, I want them going off. I want them doing something. Now, not that it's just a hot mess and it's just constantly, mind blowing, but a structured chaos or controlled chaos, basically, I guess, is what I like. If that does really that kind of make sense?
I'm the same. With our display, we've got, I know you'll get the artistic person out there will say, oh, we need to build up. We need to put the focus on this property, which you can do with the effects, I think, more so than switching them off.
Mm-hmm.
You can have it like, I don't know how closely you've possibly looked at some of our sequences, but we try to have, and for our personal ones, try to have our house as a bit of a background. It's a bit like you're looking into the landscape.
Yep.
You've always got that background. It doesn't go dark. You're not going dark. Because I tried that, and I had people who were viewing our display going, is that part broken?
Yeah.
But everybody likes a little bit different. That's the thing.
Yeah. See, and with mine, I mean, I'm kind of unique where I'm on 5 acres. I have 1.5 acres in front until the dirt road. So I have 250 feet from my garage door to the dirt road. And as I start to move my display outward, then I can have kind of the off on some of the props because I have enough to backfill and the layers and to make the display more 3D. So if there's not something going off right out in front of you, boom, it's in the back, and that draws your eyes to, more to the house and then back forward and, left. I have 300 feet of space on both sides of my house. So, I mean, it's a football field on both sides of my house to the property line.
I'm sorry I don't have a webcam because I'm just sitting here nodding my head, agreeing. Okay. Like one of those little bobble head toys, flicking around. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I see what you mean.
Yeah, and I never even thought about it until I watched David Peace's interview where he said that you want to draw the eyes. Oops, sorry, I hit my mic. Your eyes, when he was using his piece stakes, which I don't have yet. I don't know what I want to do. I want to do a different version of them. I think I got to get with James, but because when something was going from the mega tree over to his house, you followed the piece stakes across the yard, or the Tavikba stakes. That's hard to say. Over to the house, and is boom. There's where your attention is drawn to. If you have that kind of density, then you can do that kind of stuff. But being so spread out that I am, that's hard to do. But I have something in mind that I want to shoot across. So I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. So it'll be a surprise to everybody or myself included.
Yeah. And like you mentioned, if you've got those density of those pixels, you can do that. And like the reasons behind us offering us some sequences, if you don't, like you mentioned, you're missing that opportunity of showing what your props can do. So that's a little bit of our philosophy behind some of our sequencing, is to get bang for your buck out of your props.
Oh yeah. Yep.
That's what we're trying to do. Time will tell.
Now, something that I'm picking up on, you're saying "are" and "we" and "we're." Are you and your wife doing this as a team together, or do you have somebody else that's doing it with you?
My wife will have a bit of a input. She'll have a bit of a play around with something after I've done it, and I'll just give her that look. Okay, dear.
Yeah.
And also my son is a little bit talented. But he likes whole house effects.
Oh my gosh.
So
geez, that's a big, huge, or was a big, huge topic there a little while back. So.
Oh, okay. Which for our own display.
If it's done, I'm going to say correctly, but if it's done, nicely, there's nothing wrong with a whole house effect. It's a backfill for what you have going on out front, if I could say that, if it makes sense.
Oh, definitely. But if you've only got a limited amount of props and you got a big pinwheel effect, like from 2018 X-Lights Around the World, from The Greatest Showman, that was a fantastic effect. That big red, white, and blue pinwheel, oscillating across the display. If you've only got a house outline and maybe some arches and a couple of little props, it doesn't come across as well. So those sequences, which I do get provided by Ryan, isn't it? Ryan Casper Cook. He does an awesome job.
Yeah. Yep.
That couple of sequences he's provided have been huge hits on our display.
Yeah.
And I look at them and break them down and go, "Oh, that's how we did that."
Yeah. 600 and
which I hope everybody out there does.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was 630 some
700 or something.
Yeah, there was a lot, and it's going to keep growing. I mean, those guys do such an awesome job. It's just to take their personal time to do that for the community is just absolutely awesome. I love those guys. So,
and I'll just be careful of my words here. Some people are a little bit negative towards the song choice sometimes.
You're not gonna please 100% of the people 100% of the time. That's a fact. You have so diverse amount of people that are doing this display, even with the small groups that we have. They're still so diverse. Nobody's gonna be it's never gonna be 100% happy. But I mean, they do it the right way. They they get the suggestions out there. I think they did the top 5 suggestions, and I was not a fan of Forgotten Country's version of a Little Drummer Boy. Personally, I liked oh my gosh, I'm gonna brain fart, Bob Seger. But as the spring and the summer went on, and you can ask my kids, I played it all the time, and it seemed like every time I played the song off YouTube, the volume went a little bit louder, and it went a little bit louder. And now I absolutely love it. And I got a 7.1 surround sound system in both my living room and my man cave. and the bass is turned up, and it's such an impact when you get the drums, and then it goes quiet, and then they're like, yeah, and then it boom, and I just love that, and it grew on me. It is now my favorite Little Drummer Boy song. So,
And Brian hit each one of those points during that sequence spot on, I think.
yeah, you broke up a little bit on me. I didn't quite catch that whole thing.
I was just saying, Ryan hit each one of those points spot on during that sequence. It was a hit, yeah. Brian, I think we need to reward if anyone's got to the end of listening to this podcast.
Well, I think we're at 49 minutes now. I got a little clock over here. We're getting close up on 50 minutes, and it all depends on the commute. I got asked today, hey, when's your podcast coming out? And I'm like, there's a lot of guys that listen to it on the way to work, and depending on how long their commute is, they'll listen to it at work while they're working. So, Bobby,
yeah,
it's coming, buddy. Wednesday morning. You should be listening to me while you're chucking tires across the bay. So, but yeah, go ahead.
You can edit this out if I'm not allowed, but anyone that's got to the end, I'd like to offer a promotion code to our website.
Awesome. Yeah, go right ahead.
I don't know. You'll probably have to message me, Brian, when this gets released so I can set it up.
Okay.
But I'll give you a code for 50% off any of our sequences for anybody watching this. I think we need to reward them for listening for me for 45 minutes of rattling on about myself.
That's awesome. Yeah. And as long as I give Keith enough time to do the editing that we need to do, it should be out our time, Tuesday night or Wednesday morning on YouTube, and then the other podcast platforms. So
I'll send you a promotion code, Brian, for our little website.
Okay.
And hopefully maybe some people will have a look and grab one or grab them all. And we've got some new ones coming out. We're holding off on a couple, but we should have a new one out probably by the time this podcast comes out. I might have sent you a snippet of it. I don't know if you watched it or not.
I haven't had a chance because I was working on some other stuff this afternoon, but yeah, I will definitely check it out. So
something a little bit different from what we normally do. So we're trying to add a little bit of variety to our sequences. That's all I'm trying to say.
Difference good, man. Difference good.
Cool.
Variety is the spice of life. So,
all right, Brian. I said it's Australian time over here. It's end of our lunch break, so I better get back to the real job.
All right, Simon. Well, I appreciate you doing this with me, man. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh, and I'm happy to jump on some other podcast and talk about anything. If you guys want to reach out, I can talk about a snowflake tree for an hour if you want.
Hey, you know what? And Keith is going to listen to this, so I think that would be an awesome hot or not little prop there. So, and I will definitely be glued to it for that. So, depends on how many controllers I get to get for it. Maybe that F-32 would be good for that. I'm not a huge power injection guy. I did a little bit of it, but that's for another show.
Off topic. We're totally off topic. Just a snippet. We did all next door with zero power injection.
Really? Nice. I will definitely send Keith. I wanted
to prove to myself you could do it.
Yeah. I am definitely sending Keith your way. I want to see that hot or not episode.
Yeah, we'd love to join you guys. All right, Brian, thanks for having us. Thanks for everyone listening out there. And I'll get the promotion code sent to Brian, and he can do what, I don't know how people listening to a podcast will get hurt.
I'll wait for them to send a message and say, hey, what's up at the end of that? Where's that promotion code? So they got to listen to the end of it before they get it. So send me a PM.
That's it. Will do, Brian. Thanks for having us, mate.
Hey, thank you, Simon. Have a wonderful day.